In terms of objectives and roadmaps, the objective is part of the roadmap. Um, it is one of the first pieces. So you could say that maybe it comes first because it's that foundation. What's your goal? What's your objective? So they're a little bit different. Um, and so yeah, as you are developing the roadmap, you will have that goal, and then the objectives come from that first. You asked then about the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint should be about the topic that you were assigned. And I believe that you're in groups of 3 and you have a topic and you're working on a PowerPoint related to that topic. You're also working, I believe, on a case related to that topic. And then you're working on the overall roadmap, if you will, for that topic.
Okay.
And then assessment, I will pass that over to Marie.
Yeah, and I might just build off this question of roadmap and goals and objectives. I don't think there's a particular rule that you have to provide a roadmap or course and objectives in any particular order. In your PowerPoint, I think it all should be derived by the content and your goals. So you may find in some of our presentations that, for example, in some of the recorded sessions, that the objectives for the session may start the presentation. And then the roadmap provides a guideline and outline for the participant, whoever's watching the presentation or engaging in the presentation, to know where they're going. Where is the presentation going? How might it fit into a larger course or learning activity? So I think you might find that not many people include roadmaps in their presentations. It really depends on you. If you're presenting a very complex topic, having a roadmap is helpful to give touch points along the way for your learners to be able to check in, to make sure they know where they are in their own learning process, and they can kind of keep all of that organized in their mind. But I think that it'll be exciting to see what you create for your own PowerPoint, and you'll be able to get feedback from us, which will be, just another step in your own professional development. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. In terms of assessment, I think, again, what the context will determine how you're building out your assessment. You can have a rubric, the same structure, whether you're evaluating learners in your class or your peers or anyone who's speaking. What differs is the criteria you put in your rubric. For example, it may be the same or it may be different. The rubric that's expected for this program is that you're evaluating your peers, right? Because you will be evaluating what Dr. Matthias includes in his PowerPoint presentation and how he delivers it, for example. Or your rubric will evaluate, help you in evaluating Dr. Blynn's presentation and her group's presentation. So it's intended to give more insight for the presenter into how to improve in the future. But you would likely create a similar rubric for presentations for your students. As you imagine, that includes clarity of the content. That includes how you present, how you manage your time, back to this lecture today. And so it may be that you're including the same criteria, but it's just that the individual or the group is different. Does that help at all? I think it's a great question, because when we imagine different learners or different groups that we may be developing rubrics or assessment strategies for, it should inform how we construct and create those.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes.
And I think your question is an important one, and it may be helpful to send out more detailed instructions about what the deliverables are, so that everyone has a better sense, in case they have questions like you have, a better sense of what's expected at the end of the course. So Dr. Blinn asked, whom do we assume our audience will be while presenting the PowerPoint? That is a great question, right? Because if you're presenting to other anesthesiologists, that will be different than students. And that's actually, I don't know if that has been determined per se. My assumption is you're developing it as if you would be teaching your own learners. But we can touch base with Dr. Bond to confirm that and include that in the instructions that are sent out. I think, Dr. Blinn, your question raises such important issues about who your audience is, right? And knowing who your audience is helps you craft your objectives, your roadmap, in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, where are they already in the pyramid, and how much, what are your ultimate goals for them. So let us circle back around, and in the upcoming email about your expectations for next Saturday, we can include that information. Really great questions. I'm so glad, Dr. Adosa, you raised them, because we want to make sure that we're really clear with you about the expectations.
Thank you.
And I think, Dr. Adosa and Dr. Blinn, the questions that you had are likely ones, I mean, you can tell we were sort of questioning them too, so I'm assuming other people had similar questions. And that goes back to the idea about seeking counsel. When you're able to ask those questions and bring things up that, it can be hard to admit that you don't know what's going on. But when you're able to talk with people about it, you soon realize that you're not the only one, and that what you're bringing up is very valid. So thank you.